Hi, good evening. It's Ellen Lewis from Crazy for You, and I am delighted to be here tonight, and I'm happy that you're here as well. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm super excited tonight because I'm sharing with you Kim Hargreaves' latest book called Hope. I know a lot of you are familiar with Kim Hargreaves because I talk about her all the time, but I think maybe a lot of people out there are not as familiar with her because she's not on Ravelry. In fact, none of her patterns are available for download through Ravelry. They're only available in these beautiful books that she puts together. So I know she puts together a collection for those, and it's kind of her thing, but it does give her maybe a little bit of mystique because I think she's not as widely known. It's just not the way she does things. So getting her book and getting your hands on a book, I think is always fun. In fact, the book that I'm discussing tonight, Hope, has only been released in the United States. The patterns are on Ravelry for you to see, but they aren't available for you to get yet in the United States. So don't worry, I do have them on pre-order. So there's a link in the description, and I think in the comments if you're interested in that. If you got the newsletter yesterday, I had a link in there, but it didn't work. So I apologize for that. If you are interested in getting a copy of the book, and to make sure that you get your copy, go ahead and click that link and pre-order, and I'll put one aside for you when they come in. Hi, B. Hi, Eveline. It's nice to see you. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you what we've got. I'm so excited. Are you excited? Okay, so this is the cover of the book Hope. As I said, they're always a big, glossy, beautiful magazine. I think this one has 13 designs. And I don't know if you remember the video that I did on sand and some of the others. The palettes were very muted and very soft. She's come into this with a much brighter kind of look. And I love what she said about it. Let's see. She said, made with love and forever, let me start that again. Made with love, forever favorites, cozy and comforting. The pieces are worked in heartwarming shades designed to lift the spirits. And I think you'll see that it absolutely does as well. Lift the spirits. Color is such a powerful force to make us feel a certain way. Hi, Sarah. All right, so the first one that I want to share with you is called Gloss. And Gloss is a beautiful kind of puff cuff pullover. You can see this. And it is worked with a strand of Kid Silk Haze and a strand of Kid Classic at a gauge of 16 stitches to 4 inches. And it's worked in a fisherman's rib. So let's bring this up full screen so you can see. So can you see how this is a fisherman's rib in the body? The bottom of it here is regular 1x1 rib, and your cuff is regular 1x1 rib, which gives it this really, really nice, clean edge. It has a slightly opened neckline. It's not really a boat neck. It's more just kind of a shallow scoop neck. So that's very pretty. It's worked on a US size 7. Here's another shot of it. Has a drop shoulder, and again that puff cuff, which looks really pretty. I think I'm just going to close you for now. Let's see. Okay, the next one that I wanted to talk about is Parker. This is just a stunning sweater. Very classic, the classic sort of horseshoe cables They call this a polo neck. We always call it a turtleneck in the United States. But this is shown actually in two different versions. This first one is kind of a cropped, going with the high-waisted pants. It hits kind of mid-waist with the ribbing, and it has a turtleneck. Very generous, oversized garment. You see that it has a dropped shoulder that is shaped, which is nice. Very pretty. I love this color. This is worked in Alpaca Soft DK in the color Toffee. And this is just beautiful. So this version in the Toffee is the one that's cropped with the turtleneck. And wait till you see this one. This is made in Rowan Pure Cashmere. Oh my gosh. You're going to talk about Luke's. It is so beautiful. I can't even imagine what it would feel like to wear that, chunky cashmere in all those thick cables. I mean, it's such an extravagant knit. Cables take so much yarn. So to work a, very heavily cabled sweater in this cashmere is just so over the top. But this one has what's called a jewel neck or a crew neck. And this one is slightly longer. I wouldn't say that it's long or anything. It's just not cropped. This is just more a classic length. Nice deep ribbing, very pretty. So let me point out something to you in this that I really like. There's a beautiful little accent. I'm going to open this in another tab. So can you see here between the ribbing and where the cables start, there's about 6 rows of garter stitch. And it's just one of those little details. It's just a really, really pretty kind of twist on what you typically see with a cable. If you've worked cables in garments or hats even, you know that the cables typically grow right out of the rib. And this just gives it, I think, a really clean, updated sort of look. It makes it a little more modern. I think it's really, really pretty. Let's see if you can see it up here. Yeah. So here it is again. And she's done that at the hem and at the cuff. And then also here at the neckline. So all the places where the cables begin or end and the ribbing begins or ends, it's divided by this garter stitch section, which I think is just such a pretty little touch. Okay, so that one is, like I said, that's called Parker, and it is worked in the beautiful velvety soft Alpaca Soft DK at a standard DK gauge of 22 stitches to 4 inches. So this next one is called Rusty. And this is just a lovely classic set-in sleeve pullover worked in Alpaca Classic. I love everything about this sweater. It's a close-fitting sweater, and that set-in sleeve is going to be super flattering to wear. It has a little bit of waist shaping. There's nothing very fussy going on about this. It's knit in Alpaca Classic. And let me just show you something real quick too. I don't know who puts this out in Ravelry, but in this instance, they show Alpaca Classic as listed as Aran. It is not Aran, okay? You can see it right here. It is DK. Alpaca Classic is happiest at a gauge of 23 stitches to 4 inches. So it's solidly in the DK range, not Aran. Not Aran. Okay. So back to the beautiful sweater. All right. So like I said, very classic, very simply styled, but again, there is this cute little twist on it, this tiny, tiny bit of ruffle, which I love. And I'm not a big ruffly kind of girl, but this just takes it from being, a plain sweater, and it's just that little unexpected twist. It makes it feminine without being frilly. It's not too sweet. It's feminine and pretty, but not over the top. Let's look at these others. There's the back. See how nice and clean that sit-in sleeve looks? It's just a beautiful basic sweater that you will wear forever and ever. And Alpaca Classic comes in just the most beautiful colors. This is one of their new colors. It's called Copper Clay, which is if you watched the video presentation that Trish Malcolm did, this is one of the spice colors that's really big for the fall and winter this season. So very pretty, I think. All right. So that one is called Rusty. That's knit. Basically, most of it is knit on a size 5 at a gauge of 23 stitches to 4 inches. This one, how could I not love this one? It's called Ellen. So there are 2 versions of Ellen. One is a pullover and one is a cardigan. So let's look at the 2 of those. So this one is worked at a gauge of 14 stitches over 4 inches with 2 strands of Kid Silk Haze held together. And this is one of those that I was talking about where the color just really pops. You've got all this sort of basic and beige and, very kind of earthy colors. And then there's this beautiful, vibrant blue, which just is so happy. It mimics to me kind of the big wool brights that we had that were so popular and still are so popular this season. They're just lovely. So in looking at this, if you stand back from it, you can see that the lace motif is a little hard. Isn't that sweet? Again, nice without being too sweet. You really kind of have to think about that and say, oh yeah, that is a little heart. Okay, so what do I love about this? A little bit of a puff cuff, I think probably put in there more to keep you from having to make shaping in your lace. Again, drop shoulder for the same reason. Cute with her little black pants. It's got this little bit of reverse stockinette. So a little bit of a reverse stockinette neckline. So when I went in close on this, look at how it's done. You can see that the lace is done in reverse stockinette, which gives it a completely different texture. Isn't that interesting? I don't think I have ever seen that. I love it. Have you ever seen that? I mean, obviously we've seen sweaters done in reverse stockinette, but I don't know that I've ever seen a reverse stockinette faced lace sweater before. So here it is in the black. Very hard to see. I'm knitting a black sweater right now. It's not my favorite knitting with black yarn, but I do love wearing black. So this would be a beautiful classic wardrobe piece. Look how cute that is. Again, it would be pretty easy, I think, to make this. You'd want to do it with some good light. As I said, I don't have the book, so I'm not able to tell you whether this is knitted in one piece or not. I kind of doubt it because Kim Hargreaves is all about classic construction, knit in pieces and seamed. But if you're not, this is something that you probably could do in the round if you wanted. Back to the screen. All right, so that is Ellen. What else did I want to tell you about that? Again, 14 stitches and 4 inches. on a size, what is she using? Size 10 needle. So I like working with Kid Silk's double-stranded. I'm not a fan of it single-stranded, but double-stranded, it's a really nice and workable fabric. So I think that's a beautiful one. Okay, so the next one I want to show you is called Charlie. And this is Charlie. I love Charlie. So Charlie is really just, there's two versions of Charlie. So the first one is, again, what they call a polo neck. We call a turtleneck. Classic sweater. Doesn't have a set-in sleeve. So you can see that this is a drop sleeve with a ribbed trim. But the thing that makes this one different and special for me, two things. One is this, the way they've done this neckline. Can you see that this turtleneck, typically when you have a turtleneck, it's going to be knit in ribbing so that it will stand up for you. But what she's done here is she's worked this in stockinette, and she's made it extra long so that it can roll and sort of self-finish. And that gives it just a lovely element of softness that I think is really beautiful. Again, this is worked in Alpaca Classic, just like Rusty. Another detail that I like is look at this sleeve. So you can see that the sleeve increases here are done very self-consciously. She's either done a yarn over or she's done a make one and then knitted to not to twist, not to close. And that gives a pretty little eyelet detail. And then you can see here, just above the wrist line, she's not done any increases at all. So cast on here at the cuff and worked, that looks like probably 8 inches just in stockinette with no shaping, and then started the shaping for the sleeve. So you have enough extra fabric here for the garment to roll up and give you a beautiful finish on that cuff. So I love this one. I think this is beautiful. I would knit this for sure. This is worked at a gauge of 23 stitches over 4 inches in Alpaca Classic. And here's the other version. You would hardly even know that they were the same sweater. This one is a boat neck. The sleeve detailing is the same, but your neckline is very open. This is a look that Kim Hargreaves likes a lot. I think she finds it very flattering, but it's a very different look. That color is a wonderful pop, isn't it? So I think that's really pretty. All right. So this does have the ribbed trim. I mean, she didn't really have any options. She had to do something up here since there isn't enough room for it to roll. But I think that's pretty. I like the polo neck myself better. Okey-doke. So the next one I want to show you. Oh, I love this. Okay, this is called Chestnut, and this is worked in Merino Aria. So if you saw the yarn tasting, or you did the yarn tasting, you have worked with Merino Aria, and you know how lovely it is. So this just, to me, this just looks like the most wonderful, soft, cozy garment ever. A lot of special detailing in this. So let's go full screen and look at that. Okay. So she's got a set-in sleeve here, which is nice because it's going to eliminate some of the bulk here that you would see if you had a drop shoulder. It's got a 4, probably, again, I don't have the book, so I don't know. I can only, count. I'm thinking that this is like a 4-1 or a 4-2 ribbing. And at the, at the picked up, and then also at the cuff. And again, she's done these 6 rows of garter stitch to separate the ribbing from the stockinette portion. And that's such a pretty little detail. It's unexpected and I think just very, very effective. She's got a nice garter stitch belt on that, but look here. Let me see if I can get this for you. Do you see how, so obviously you're going to make the fronts and sew the whole thing together, and then you're going to pick up and you're going to work your edging outward in this direction. But look here at the edge. She's worked a 4-stitch or 6-stitch garter stitch edge to keep that wide stockinette stitch from rolling. These are the little details that I think just take her work up to the next level. I can just see how beautiful this would be to wear. Isn't that pretty? Not a lot of tapering at the sleeve, so it's very comfortable, very easy fitting. It's almost like an elegant smoking jacket, isn't it? All right. Okay, so before we go on, let me just greet everybody else who has come. Hi, Gwen. Hey, Jal, nice to see you. Valerie, welcome. Hey, Katie, good to see you. Evelyn wants the book. Yes, all right, order it. There's a link in the comments. You can order the book. Yeah, it's beautiful. Honestly, I really love having her books. I love that the tangible nature of her beautiful, beautiful books to kind of look through and be inspired. I have this one right here, which is an old book. I mean, probably, gosh, almost maybe 8-10 years old. I know that I had this in 2012. So I knit this sweater from it. I still love to look at the patterns, and the patterns are still garments that I would wear today. In fact, I did make a sweater from this pattern. I made the one that I'm wearing. The pattern was called Saffron, and it was worked in a yarn that's since been discontinued, Lima. Anyway, this is Saffron, and that's what I'm wearing, and I still love it. So, I think that's a testament to the longevity and the classic nature of her designs. Hi, Tara. Okay, where were we? Let me share my screen again. Anyway, thank you for being here. It's lovely to have you. Okay, so that is chestnut. And let me just say, Merino Aria comes in the most amazing array of colors. This is called Bear, which is just a beautiful chocolate brown. There's 2 shades of gray. There's a gorgeous warm pink. There's a burgundy. There's a navy blue. They're just really lovely. And the yarn is just to die for to knit with. Just beautiful. And that is knit on a US 10.5 at 14 stitches over 4 inches. Okay. Goodbye to you. And hello. Okay, so this is Kizzy and Bliss. I'm going to do them kind of together, kind of back and forth, because Kizzy and Bliss are a classic twin set. Let's go full screen. So this is Kizzy, and this is the short-sleeved little crop top. This is worked in Kid Silk Haze, 2 strands at a gauge of 20 stitches over 4 inches. There's a pretty little square neck with, again, that garter stitch trim in the front. I love garter stitch trim. I think it's so clean. Malcolm says he likes it too. So, yeah. So this is nice because it's a short sleeve and, you can wear it. It's a little bit cropped. You wouldn't have to wear it cropped if you didn't want to. Whoops. And this is Bliss. So Bliss is the cardigan that goes over Kizzy. It also is worked with 2 strands of Kid Silk Haze, held together at the same gauge. It's a slightly V-neck with a puff cuff. Pretty. I love a good twin set. I think they're just so classic, and you know, they feel so very ladylike, but if you wear them with jeans, you can really kind of play with that look. I think it's beautiful. All right, what's next? I have Bliss. So honestly, I think this would look pretty if you had something like I was saying. She's wearing it with a slim black skirt, but can't you see this with high-waisted black jeans and boots? I think that would be very, very fun and playful. All right. Next is fall. Love fall. This is a gorgeous sweater coat that is worked in Rowan big wool. Look how pretty this is. Doesn't it just, oh, you just want to wrap up in it. Very clever. She has done such a beautiful job with this coat. Look at the cables. So in this instance, the cables are growing out of the ribbing, which is a 2-2 rib. And look how they change as they go up the back. It looks to me like a plant that's growing and blooming up the back. I think that is stunning, just spectacular. This is one of those garments that falls in the category of fun to knit and beautiful to wear. So very lovely detailing on this. I guess those are the only two, but can you just see how pretty that is? Very thoughtful additions at the sleeve. You can see that it's a drop shoulder, very deeply dropped shoulder, but it is a shaped dropped shoulder. So you don't have a lot of excess fabric in the underarm, and it is a nice fitting garment. Yeah, I love this. I think that's beautiful. Rowan big wool. Let's see how many balls that takes. So that's going to take a decent number of skeins. It's going to take probably, I usually make a medium, so 13 skeins of big wool for me. But yeah, that's a beautiful statement piece that you'll enjoy for a long, long time. Radley. Okay, Radley, again, 2 strands of kid silk haze, very pretty little, it's not really a polo neck, but it is a or turtleneck. It's kind of a high neck, nice eyelet lace. Again, she's repeated that concept of using reverse side facing. So this is a reverse stockinette eyelet that gives it a pretty look. Again, you know that there's going to be a fun little detail. I'm going to open this in a new tab so that I can get close and show you. Look at what she's done at the cuff. Look at these little baubles. Just a tiny little twist, a sweet little unexpected bit that is amazing. And you can see the reverse stockinette here. Can't you? Let's see. No. Can you tell that that's reverse stockinette in this picture? When you blow it up a lot. Anyway, it is. It's reverse stockinette. So very fun and very pretty. And again, just a fun little detail there at the cuff. That's worked with 2 strands of kid silk haze at a gauge of 15 stitches over 4 inches. I like that. And it's not really a puff cuff. You know, it doesn't have a lot of shaping. It's not a close fitting garment anywhere, but it's not an exaggerated puff cuff. And can I just say how much I love those white boots? I used to have a pair of white boots back in the day. That was a long time ago. Okay, next is Effie. I gotta tell you, gang, I'm not in love with Effie. I want to love Effie, but I don't. I want to hear what you think about Effie. So tell me in the comments what you think about Effie. Okay, so here is Effie. It is a pullover. It is worked with a single strand of kid silk haze. on a US 3 at a gauge of 25 stitches to 4 inches. To me, it's just not me. Okay. It doesn't mean that it's not a great design, that it's not beautiful. It's not something. I don't enjoy working with Kid Silk Haze single stranded, and I would probably not be comfortable in all those ruffles. But I know that the model looks beautiful in it, and there are probably lots of you who would love to make this, but it probably won't be a knit along. I did want to point out to you this neckline that she's done here, which I do love. It's actually the identical neckline of the sweater that I am wearing. And it's so clever because it's a pullover, but you can see the button band stops here, kind of at, kind of just above the waist. And so you get the effect of kind of a pullover. You can have this open neck, and you can unbutton it as much or as little as you want. And the trim, I know, because like I said, it's the same one on the sweater that I did a million years ago. The trim is worked in at the same time. It's such a clever way that she's done this, alternating rows of stockinette and reverse stockinette to give you the effect of a picked up and ribbed trim. So I love that. I think that's just super clever, and kudos to Kim, because she is so very talented in this way. Sarah says she likes Effie. Yes. And you know what, darling? You would look beautiful in it. You would. You absolutely would. I can see you in it. It's just not me. So, yes. Thank you for saying that, too. I'm glad that you said that. Okay, what is next? All right, Saks. Saks is another sweater coat. This one is worked in brushed fleece. So you know, even though this is a huge garment, it is going to be very light. It's going to be nice and warm, but very, very light, because brushed fleece is constructed to have great yardage and be bulky, but have a very, very light feel. So this is a super drop shoulder. So you can see that the shoulder line comes all the way down, kind of just above the elbow, maybe halfway between shoulder and elbow. So there's a huge amount of ease in this garment. You can see that it's worked in seed stitch, which means it has a wonderful clean finish, which I really, really like. That makes it very modern. It's worked in three shades of gray. But, you know, it would be fun to play with this, maybe instead of that pale gray, to throw in something really bright and beautiful and fun. Of course, no one can ever argue with gray, because it is so versatile and so wearable. But I don't know, this season, I think maybe a little fun would be, we could use that right now. This, again, is worked at 14 stitches over 4 inches, but it is not going to be heavy. What do you guys think? Do you like it? Would you knit a coat? Look how elegant that looks with her boots. So nice. All right. Let's look at Bryce, the last one. And Bryce, so Kim doesn't always do, she used to do kind of a mix of accessories and sweaters in her books, but I think now she's gone more to sweaters with maybe just one accessory in there. But I think she does a beautiful job with her accessories. So this is Bryce, and let's talk about Bryce real quick. Okay, so Bryce is worked with 2 strands of Kid Silk Haze. That seems to be kind of a theme running through this book, is 2 strands of Kid Silk Haze, which is a lovely, lovely fabric, as I said. It is worked at a gauge of 15 stitches over 4 inches. It is not boring. This is a nice stockinette eyelet pattern. If you did the the Keisha sweater in my first sweater class. It's a similar design. So these eyelets on a field of stockinette, which look equally beautiful on the right side or the wrong side. And then she has this crocheted trim. So the theme sort of for this book is the kid silkays, and then the using the reverse stockinette with the eyelets and ruffle, ruffle. So I like this. This is a big garment. This is 17 inches wide and 80 inches long. And I think that's the only picture that she has of it. So it's one of those garments that, because it's made of the kid silkays, it's very light and very squinchable. Is that a word? But, you can squinch this up and you could wrap it around your neck 3 times and it would feel very light and be very, very cozy. But you also, at 17 inches, you could open that up and that would be a lovely shawl kind of wrap. This is the kind of thing that you want to have on the airplane. So it's light, it doesn't weigh anything, it's squinch upable so that it doesn't take up any space. And, you could put it on your lap because I'm always cold in an airplane. You put the air conditioning on and I'm just about to freeze to death. So this would be a really nice garment to have. And you could do it in one of those fun colors. You might not want to make a whole sweater in some vivid blue, but you might want some of that happy color in your wardrobe. And this would be a really nice way to add a little drama to an outfit and to your capsule wardrobe. So that is Kim Hargreaves' Hope. I hope you like it. I have the books coming. If you want one, go ahead and pre-order it on the website. There's a link in the comments. You can order it there. And I also was very smart to order all of the colors. So I am going to try to put this up in kits. But if you want it and you don't see it as a kit, go ahead and email me or make a comment in there, and I will contact you to get you exactly what you need for these beautiful garments. So thank you for being here. Let me look real quick and see if there are any comments. Yes, Evelyn wants the book. Yes. Anyway, Gwen needs the book. Okay, so we will get you all the book. Just go ahead and order it. And that's what I have for tonight. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again next week. And until then, keep knitting and create something beautiful. Bye-bye.